welcome back to the Bookworms, buddy. It's already time for our February wrap-up. This month went by so quickly. I did read 12 books. I read a lot of YA this month, and I'm not sure why I read that much YA, but I did, and towards the end of the month I needed a break from YA. So anyway, let's get started on this list of books for my wrap-up. So the very first book that I read in the month of February was Soul Crossed. Soul Crossed I got through NetGalley. It was really a good book. You have Josh and Grace. Josh was, one of those guys who's kind of, reckless and that kind of stuff. And then you have Grace, who was young and more innocent. Well, they were both killed. Josh, to escape the damnation of hell, assumed the role of this demon to try to get control of this other soul on Earth named Camden. The only problem is Grace was assigned this same soul. She had to try to turn him to the good side, while Josh was trying to turn him to the bad side. And it was actually a really good story, and I rated that 4 stars. The next book that I read for February was Revival by Stephen King. I rated this book 5 stars. I rated this book 4 stars. It was a really good book. The ending I was a little confused on. I wasn't entirely sure where he was going with the ending, but overall the story was great. As you can tell, it was focused around religion, pretty much. It was focused on this minister and kind of like his descent into insanity, it seemed like. He was obsessed with electricity and all that kind of stuff. So it was really a good book. I just was not quite sure about the ending, but I rated it 4 stars. The next book I read for February was Both of Me. This is by Jonathan Friesen. I loved the cover, first of all, of this book. I got this book through Book Look Bloggers, and it was just okay for me. I think I rated it 2 or 2.5 stars. You have these 2 kids. It was Clara and Elias, or Elias, however you say that name. Elias lived in an imaginary world, and he kind of dragged Clara with him. But the reason why the book was just okay to me was because this imaginary world just really didn't come to life for me. And that's what I was hoping for, and I just don't feel like I got that with this story. So 2.5. The next book I read was The Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. Loved this book. I liked it even better than the first one. This is one of the books this is one of the series that I want to finish this year. So I absolutely love this. I don't think I need to explain anything about this. I rated this one 5 stars. The next one I read, Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and I read this book because Shannon over at Leaning Lights chose this for our Pick 5 challenge, and like I've said before, I don't think I would have picked it up still had she not chose this book for me. I loved this book so much. It kept me up late into the night, read it in less than 2 days, absolutely loved it. I don't think I need to explain what the book is about. If you've not read it yet, please pick it up. It was fantastic. And the next one I read was The Maze Runner by James Dashner. I actually cheated and watched the movie first, but the movie actually made me want to read the book so much better. There were a lot of things that were different in the movie. The movie's still good, but the book just gives you so much more of a look into this story. And absolutely love the characters. I don't think I need to explain anything. So many people have read this book. The Maze Runner, I rated 4 stars. The next one I read was Bone Splintered Asphalt by John A. Burks Jr. I do have a video review of this. I will link to that. Oh, and also Revival. I have a video review of that as well. But last year I read Flesh Worn Stone, and was really taken aback by that. I decided to read Bone Splintered Asphalt. Rated this one a 4-star. It was much better. It wasn't quite as over the top. You have a new plot line, a new place where the story takes place, and it did take off where the last one ended, but it took a different route, which I understand had to be done, because if you just were going through the same thing all over again, carrying on from the first one, you know, then it would have probably been deemed boring. In this series, you've got this couple, their 2 sons are murdered, they're taken to this place, this cave, where they have to play these games, and they're told what these games are. If they win each game, they get a mark on their forehead. Once they get 5 marks, they are released to live this life of luxury. So yeah, if you're faint of heart, don't even bother. If you like those kind of graphic, violent books, then this would probably be a series for you. The second one is the third one is Bloodstained Mahogany, which I also have that on my Kindle, and I will be reading that soon. So yeah, I rated it a 4-star. The next one I read was Prodigy by Marie Lu, book number 2 in the Legend trilogy. I'm reading this as a read-along with Courtney, and I gotta say, I liked Prodigy better than Legend. I thought this one was written much better, and yeah, I'm looking forward to moving on to Champion, which will be next month, and I rated Prodigy 4 stars. The next one I read was The Ninth Girl by Tammy Ho. This probably is the final book in the Kovac and Lishka series. Kind of seemed like it was wrapped up to be a last book. I love Sam Kovac and Nikki Liska. They are just 2 of my favorite detectives. And they think in this book, you know, it's called The Ninth Girl. They've had this serial killer running around. They didn't know if she was a part of that same serial killer or if it's a new case. Anyway, it's a great book. Rated this one 5 stars. Loved it. The next one I read was Opposition, which is the last book in the Lux series. I rated it 4-star, but I think Origin was probably my favorite. I think it was wrapped up well. I love Jennifer L. Armentrout's writing, and this was a great story. The next one I read was Wildflower by Janine Carbone. She approached me on Goodreads and asked me if I would review her book, and I rated this 3.5 stars. I think it's got a really good story to it. It's supposed to be a psychological thriller, but I think it's really kind of tame for that. I think it's more about mental health issues and that kind of stuff. It was a pretty good read, and I look forward to reading other things by this author. And the last book that I read for this month was We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and this is by Shirley Jackson. This was not what I expected at all. I thought this was going to be kind of disturbing, you know, that kind of thing. But really, it was kind of a delightful read. It was really fun to read. There was some crazy stuff that made you go, that kind of stuff. I really did quite enjoy this book, and I rated this one a 4-star. If you've not read this book, I think you really should, because it was great. And that is my wrap-up for February. If you've read any of these books that I have shown you today, let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. All my reviews can be read on my blog, and I'll also link to that in the description box below, along with my 2 video reviews that I did, Revival and Bone Splintered Asphalt. Thanks again, guys, for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.